Hey, what's up, guys? So this vlog is going to be completely different. It's not going to be about mobile technology or anything like that. But if you want to stick around and listen to what I have to say about something that I wanted to kind of vent out, then that's cool with me. So anyways, you guys pretty much should know, if you don't know, that I grew up in Hawaii. Hence, Aloha Android. And man, there's some real shit going on over there that, kind of, in a way, it breaks my heart to see kind of what goes on over there. Um, you know, I grew up there. To me, that's home. I wasn't born there, but I grew up there. So, with things that happen over there, I tend to pay, attention to and have an interest in. Now, over the last couple of years, the homelessness risen in Hawaii, like, skyrocketed. I mean, right now, Hawaii has to be like one of the top 10 that has the most homeless people out of the entire country. And that's pretty bad. But, it's not like people have given up. I think that's the part that bothers me the most. It's not that people have given up and just decided to pitch a tent on the sidewalk, on the street, and live there. They have no choice. I don't know what people's perception is of Hawaii, but, I'll give you guys what I know of. And that is, it's not all rainbows and pineapple juice and Aloha t-shirts and, the ukulele playing. It's not all that. It's not surfboards every 20 hours a day. It's nothing like that. Okay? That is like the cliche thinking of what Hawaii is. It's nothing. It's far from that. They do have, major cities like Honolulu is well built up, kind of like, how downtown Phoenix is. Everything is modernized. I don't know, because people, even till today, like some people, when I tell them that, I lived in Hawaii and grew up there, and there's people who's like, oh, do they have electricity? I'm like, yeah, they do. Sometimes I'll mess with them and be like, the closest thing we have to electricity is a water stream and a guy on this wooden bicycle pedaling just to, create a charge. It's like, it's real bad to do that to people, but, I do sometimes. Just because it's like, why would you ask such a weird question like that? Like the state of Hawaii, it's a state. It's one of the 50 states. It's the 50th state. What makes people think that, technology and stuff that's not in the mainland would never come to Hawaii? Like, it'd be so, so far outdated. Like, it's not. But anyways, so the homelessness there. Things have become, it's become unlivable. It really has. I mean, how some of my friends who still live on the island make it is beyond me. Like, I can't even understand what are they doing to survive there. Because there's people that I know of that left the island because they didn't want to be on the streets homeless. So they made the hardest choice of their life, and that's picking up and starting a new life in a new place that they're not accustomed to. Because the atmosphere in Hawaii is like totally different than what it is here in the mainland. Just the way people think, the cultures, the mixed cultures that we have there. I'm not gonna paint it out to be like it's this pacifist place. It's really not. We know you do got your knuckleheads out there. People tend to scrap over family beef or whatever. Like all that stuff exists there, but I think there's just a difference in it. There's a little bit more respect. All that stuff. So when they leave the island to go live somewhere else, it's just a whole different contrast for them. It's gotta suck, like being forced to move away from a place that you grew up or that you lived in your whole life, that you were born, to go live somewhere else just because the cost of living has jacked up increasingly. It's crazy. And like I'll tell you guys how crazy it is. Like a gallon of milk, from what people have told me, is like anywhere between $5 to $7, just depending where you shop. Gas was like $5. I don't know if it went down to like $4 or whatever, but the last time that I went to visit, it was like $5.20 something. It's crazy, the amount. If you smoke cigarettes, you're gonna quit. You're gonna really have to quit. $11.58 a pack of cigarettes, and that's generic, and $12.41 for name brand cigarettes. It's crazy out there. Now, for a one bedroom apartment, it's between $1,000 to $1,500 a month. So you think of the cost of living out there, paying for a one bedroom apartment like $1,500. Okay, let's check what minimum wage is. Okay, Google, what's the minimum wage in Hawaii?
The minimum wage in Hawaii was $7.75 per hour in January 2015.
Yeah, so that was in January, and then it says right here in our article that Hawaii raises minimum wage to $10.10 per hour. This was on May 23rd, 2014. Okay, so there's like different things. Okay, so it is $7.75 an hour, and it will be changed to $8.50 an hour in the new year of 2016. Okay, so $7.75 an hour. Imagine you working something like that. How would you even make it out there if your rent was $1,500 a month? And that's just your rent. Then you gotta go and you gotta pay for electricity, which ain't cheap. And then after you pay for electricity, then if you have a car, you gotta put gas in your car. You also gotta pay your monthly insurance on your car. You got food. Because you can't just not eat, die. So you gotta you got all these things to pay. Like, how are you gonna make it on $7.75? Let's do the average on that, right? Like, let's see. Let's just do the basic calculation. And I'm not gonna sit here racking my brain on it. So, 75. Okay, let's see, times 40 hours equals $310. $310 times 2, 620. $1,240 a month. Not even what your rent costs. That's crazy. That's insane. And so, yeah, people have, they lose their home. They gotta live on the streets. But then now the state looks at it in a way like, it's making the island look ugly with all these tents pitched out with families living in there because they have nowhere to live. So now they want to do, like, I don't know, a friend of mine was telling me that they're going to start hosing, the homeless people to get them off certain sidewalk areas or whatever. They've created ridiculous laws out there. There were some people that were visiting Hawaii from Canada that, had a fine that they had to pay, and now they can't get back into the U.S. because of that fine. And they got a fine for being on the beach after 10 o'clock at night, I believe it was. So after 10 p.m., nobody is allowed on the beach. And the reason why that's in effect is because they're trying to keep homeless people from camping out on beach property. That's insane. That's ridiculous. Okay? Public restrooms at beach parks, if you're caught, taking a shower or whatever, you can get a fine for doing that, being homeless and taking a shower. Like, you already lost your home. You're living on the streets. You're living in a tent. You're having to find like weird, quirky methods to get some sort of electricity so you can charge your cell phone. So, you can, cook on a hot plate or something. And then, you want to bathe, so you're clean, so your area that you're living in doesn't stink. And the state puts a fine if you take a shower. That's nuts. And these are things that I've heard. So, the last time I went back to visit was in, I believe, 2013. I went back to visit family, and I was amazed by how many, the ratio of homeless people are out there. I was amazed by it. And Hawaii's doing all these little crazy projects, like they're building a rail system out there, which, for me personally, I don't even see why they would even need a rail system. They have one of the best public transportations out of all 50 states. I mean, award-winning. They got bus routes that go into just about every neighborhood. I know this because that was my method of getting around when I was a teenager. If I wanted to go to my girlfriend's house and, hang out with her and her family, like, I would have to take the bus. And, I didn't own a car. So, took the bus. I had to get to her place. And, you can get there. It's not like some cities where there's only specific routes and, you got to get off the bus and then walk like 16 blocks to get home. Like, you never have to do that in Hawaii. Like, buses go through neighborhoods and everything. So they got a really good public transportation system. I don't understand why they're even using any of government funding to build a rail system. Like, for what? That I can't understand. That is just so weird. Like, that money for that project could be used to build more transition housing. Now, playing devil's advocate, like, I know that there's people out there that, are homeless and they're not even trying. Like, they don't want to go and work a job. They want to stay on welfare assistance and all that other stuff. And yeah, you're going to have people like that. But there's other families out there that have struggled, that lost their home, that work a job, that got their whole life is altered because now it's not like they can be like, okay, we're going to go to work. We're working a graveyard shift. We'll see you kids in the morning and leave the kids in the tent by themselves. Like, you can't do that. There are crazies there as there are here in the mainland. You just can't do that. It's bad. Like, I know for a fact that if I uprooted my family from here and went back to Hawaii and tried to make a life out there, like, I know I could make it, but it would be a dang hard struggle to, like, for like 3 or 4 years I'd be like struggling out real bad, just for the cost of living. And what's even worse right now is the fact that I read an article that the governor of Hawaii has okayed, or has given the okay, to our government that they'll house Syrian refugees. Now, I'm not trying to be mean or be, an a-hole about it, but you got like a bunch of families there that are homeless that could use a lot of the resources that, the government of Hawaii is neglecting to give to its people, to its residents. And you want to house refugees there? Like, how are you going to build? Where are you going to build a place for these refugees to live at? And if you build a place for these refugees to build at, why can't you do that for the homeless families on the streets right now? Like, that's the biggest question that's in my head. It's like, they won't do that for them. I don't understand it. To me, it just seems like that the state of Hawaii is becoming more commercialized. They are, building like a rail system, trying to be like what? Like New York with subways? Or like with San Francisco, or where they have like the rail systems. I mean, I just can't see it. Like, I just can't see why they're their budget, the budget that the state of Hawaii gets, they're using it for ridiculous things. Tourism's going to keep falling if you don't do anything about the homeless people. If you don't find more land to develop on, to build transitional housing to get these people off the streets, and you're worried about what tourists from Japan, from Korea, the Philippines, China, here in the mainland, the U.S., because, Hawaii is a melting pot in the Pacific. Like, a lot, like, people from different countries come there to vacation. And the state of Hawaii is always worried about, well, we gotta push the homeless people to a certain, area because we don't want, our tourists to see them and they get disgusted by our state. Well, then do something about it. Build more transition houses, like I keep saying. Like, I don't understand. Like, forget the rail system. The rail system's like costing like what, over $1 billion already? $1 billion that could have been used to develop transition housing all over the island. There's land that could be developed on. Yes, I know there's a thing between the U.S. government and sovereign Hawaii that they have to agree on things in order for them to develop certain areas of the land, because they can't just go and take land and just start building on it. But I'm sure if both work together, then something could be done about it, and the whole homeless problem could be fixed. Because, like, for me, I always worry that something is going to happen to my family there, and I'm going to get, like, the worst phone call ever that, my family is out on the streets or something. I mean, you never know. Like, even my friends, like I worry that my friends are going to be put in that situation. So, I just want to kind of shed some awareness out there for people, This is crazy. It really is. I really, I wish the best for my family and friends back home. And I really wish things could change, or something could be done that could change it around and make it a better place like it used to be, the Hawaii that I remember growing up. But, yeah. So anyways, guys, that's my long vlog. Sorry to bore you guys to death if it did, but I just got to get it off my mind. But if you guys watched it all the way through, thank you for watching and listening. And yeah, so I'll see you guys, or you'll see me in the next video.